here, and if you're a regular subscriber, thank you very much for joining me once again. Tonight's video I'm going to be working on my design team project that I started during Rachel and Bella Crafts 100 Days Junk Journaling Inspiration collaboration, which finished well, it finished sort of the third week in June. And I'm still working on the journal using the lovely kits that were produced to go along with the collaboration. And for those of you that don't know, Rachel produced 3 beautiful kits, and if you go along to Rachel and Bella Crafts website page, you'll find their shop, the link to their shop, and you'll also find the link to their coffee page, where you'll be able to browse and have a look at their lovely kits that they've got on their channel. And this kit was the last kit that they produced for the collaboration, and it's a dressmaking themed journal with a French twist to it, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really enjoying working on it. I've been a bit slow working on it because I've been doing a few other bits and bobs behind the scenes, and today I planned on starting it today, but my one of my spaniels has been in for surgery today to prevent her from having any. She's been spayed, so we didn't want her to have any more puppies. So she's a bit out of sort. So we're all giving her a bit of TLC. She's feeling a bit sore and a bit sleepy. So I'm almost ready to be doing this. I'll just show you what I've produced so far. I'm not going to do the flip through, because what I'll do a big flip through at the end. But as you can see, it's filling up nicely. There's lots of little projects that I've been doing in there, and it's a 2 signature journal. Lots of pages, lots of pockets, tuck spots, and pull outs and flips and flaps and belly bands, and you name it, and it's in it. And it's delicious inside. The papers are absolutely gorgeous. This is the kit. I just sort of gave you a quick flick. That's the add-on part of the add-on kit, and there's sentiments and all sorts with it. So I have used a lot of those, and a lot of the ephemera, obviously, because it goes with the journal pages fantastically. And so what I'm planning on doing now is getting the cover ready. So I've done this behind the scenes, where I've taken some Amazon packaging and I've given it a 3.5-inch spine. So it's going to be quite a big journal, but I want you to be able to add things to it yourself, and it is already a bit of a chunky monkey. So for anybody who purchases this, there will be room for you to add more projects. If you wanted to buy the Rachel and Bella's kit yourself and add more things to it, then it'll give you the opportunity to do that. So and it's going to be a fairly flexible cover, and so it's a double thickness card, quite a substantial thickness, and I've just glued 2 layers together, and then I've got some fabric here, and where have I put it now? And what I'm going to do, I bought this fabric from eBay, and it's really pretty, and I thought the colours really matched with what's in the kit. It's nice pastel, pastel shades and things, but the only thing is it's not quite long enough. If you can see here, if I lay this piece out, it doesn't fit either way for me to do. If I'd had a smaller spine, if I was just doing a 1 signature journal, it'd be perfect, because that would be there. And if you imagine that the spine would be, say, 1 inch, that'd be a perfect fit to do it. But obviously it's a 3-inch one, so I'm just debating how to go about doing this. And what I thought was I'd cover these individually, like so, and then if I pull that up there, and put this piece down here, there's enough for me to cover these, so there'll be like a floating spine. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the fabric and put it on the spine and on these 2 front pieces, and then work a way of how to sandwich them together. So I'm not going to do that on camera, because it'll take me a bit of figuring out, and don't want to make a hash of it, seeing as this material goes lovely with the journal. I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then what I want to do as well is to show you what I've been using to do my journal. Is I bought myself a new tool, and I'm quite enjoying using it. And it's great because you can measure your corners, make sure that your corners are straight, and you can also sort your corners out here as well. And then you've got, if you want to space between your spine equally, you can use this little tool and butt them. I need to do it on a flat surface. Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. Pop this down. So if I put that up there so you can see, and then this gives you the correct spacing between your spine and your pages, and then you can measure that one as well. So, but this is what I would use after I've actually finished decorating. So, and it's got inch measurements. There's no measurements on the back for millimeters or centimeters. You've got a little corner rounder here, so if you wanted to cut round your corners, you've got a template there to draw around and cut round to curve your corners. And yeah, so that you can curve your corners there. And then there's a little hole here, so if you wanted to make a hole in your spine so that you can mark the spot to put your elastic closures in, if you were doing an elasticated spine, you can mark the spot on there as well to get them evenly spaced. And so yeah, it's a great little tool for using with your book boards, and it's a 5 tool in one. So you've got a hole maker, you've got a corner corrector there to make sure that your corners are nice and equal. You've got a corner rounder here, you've got a spacer, and then we've got a I'm not sure what this little round hole is. I'll just see if I can have a look on my instructions. Right, that's why I haven't actually used this bit yet. But what that is for is when you actually have done your corner, it's for cutting the material. So what you do is you shape your corner, cut your corner accordingly, and then while you've got that there and you've shaped your corner, you mark out your corner here on the material so that when you go to cut it, it's the correct diameter, if you like, to do you a nice neat corner in that section there. So it gives you a nice shape to cut round and trim. So that's the 5 pieces. So I do, you know, so far I've used it a couple of times, but I haven't used that. So I do recommend that if you want to have a look for one. I got it from Amazon. So that's that little 5, and it's called 5 tools in one, and you'll find it in the bookmakers section on Amazon. So I'm going to go away now, and I'm going to glue these to here and then cut round them, and I'll be right back once that's done. So here you go, ladies and gents. I've stuck the material onto the face of the cover, and I'm just going to fold in the edges. So what I've done is I've cut away the corners a little bit, and I'm going to fold the tops down first, like so, making sure it's all adhered. I'm going to do the top one as well. Put a bit on the right where it tucks in on the edge of the cover. I'm being quite generous with the glue. There we go. I'm tucking in the corners And then we'll do this one. Excuse me, I've got shadows. Sorry about that, everybody. I forgot to switch the overhead light off. It's getting quite dark outside because it's threatening on rain, and my lighting's not very good in here. I live in a converted barn, and the windows are really small. I'm living in what used to be the cow shed, so light is quite limited. So I have got a light with this little camera setup, but they're just two little ring lights, and they're not brilliant, to be honest with you. But there we go. Just need to put a bit more glue on there. Didn't come far enough down. Yeah, and when I leave the overhead light on, it casts shadows. It's quite thick, this material. It's quite deceiving. It's a nice cotton, you know, good quality. Come along the edge. I'm debating whether to sew this, but I won't be sewing it this evening because, one, I've got to get my sewing machine out to do that, and that's a bit of a feat in itself because it's tucked around a high shelf. And I'll just make sure the corner's well tucked in. There we go. There we are. And I'm struggling at the moment with I've got a bad knee. I've twisted it, but according to the x-ray it just shows that I've got a bad case of arthritis in it. So I've got to have some physio and see whether that'll help improve things. If not, it'll be steroid injections, I think. Let's see if it'll settle down. But there we go. So that's the front. Well, I'm not sure whether it's going to be the front or the back. And then I'll get some little corner rounders, I think, to go on these. There's that. And then we'll do the same with this one. That looks a bit wonky to me. Let's have a look. I did measure it on my board. But, let's have a look. We've got 17. Oh, it's tiny smidgen out. A teeny tiny. But that's what happens sometimes when you get a handmade. So we're just going to curve the corners. And old habits die hard. I was going to use my tool. So we were going to do the tops and the bottoms first, weren't we? So I hope that you're all doing well, and I hope you're enjoying. There's lots of other collaborations going on at the moment while ours is finished, and I hope that you enjoyed ours when you were following it. It was fantastic, and I'm currently following one at the moment and thoroughly enjoying that one as well. And I'll tell you who it is that I'm following at the moment. The Paper Bee and Petals and Parchment, I think it is. They've got a collaboration called June-tober, and it's I don't celebrate Halloween, but it's a Halloween themed, but not all of the kits that they're bringing out. There's a freebie every day, and not all of them are sort of very dark and spooky and what have you. Some of them are, but I've quite enjoyed following along. There's a a game board with it, and you watch the videos every day and like and subscribe, which we all like you to do to help us creators to get, you know, seen in YouTube. Otherwise our videos just end up gathering cobwebs, which is apt with the Junetober theme, but not something we want to happen on a regular basis, because we do enjoy sharing our creations with you all. And you know, it's nice when we get feedback, so we do appreciate, you know, you commenting and liking and subscribing if you've enjoyed the channel. There we go. A little bit under there. Don't worry about these frayed pieces, because they're all going to be covered with the interior decoration. So we've got one more bit now over here. God, you don't have to go through this glue. I've used a whole 8-ounce bottle on the journal that I'm working on, with all the ephemera and everything, and it's really expensive to buy. I can't believe how much they charge for glue. You know, you're talking of £30 a bottle, depending on the size, obviously, but yeah. But I do like Fab-O-Tac when I'm dealing with fabric. Well, 3-in-1, Beacon 3-in-1, it's as good as Fab-O-Tac. Somebody told me that it is different. I thought they were, you know, on a par with, but somebody said they were made differently. But you can use, there we go. I just need to put a bit around this corner here. Sorry, you're off screen, but I just want to tuck in, and I can't see what I'm doing when it's far away. Right, let's have a look. So that one's well tucked in. I need to do this one now, just to fold that corner edge right in. There we go. Use my scissors for a minute. There we go. There we are. Lovely. So I'm going to leave them to dry overnight, and I'm going to rest my knee because I'm standing up over my table and it's actually killing me. So let's have a look now. Get rid of my threads, get rid of my glue, and then I'm just going to have a quick think on how I'm going to put these all together. Excuse my arm, everybody. So what I was thinking was that I think I'm going to have to glue that down the same, and then it'll be whatever I put over the whole piece, that will be the anchor. So I think I'm going to have to glue this section as well. Just finish this one off. Now then. I'm going to tuck the sides in first. Put plenty in the corner. And then plenty to come down. and try and put plenty of glue in that corner there. And the same this side. Sounds like one of the daughters is on the phone, probably ringing up to see how Amber is following her surgery today. It'll be a few days before she's feeling more like her old self. There we go. Now we decided to have a spade because as they get older, Amber's 4 this year, they're more at risk of developing uterine cancer as they get older, so we didn't want her to have another litter because we're too old to cope with a litter of puppies now. When she had 3, that was bad enough. One of the ladies from the retreat, Hilltop View Journals, one of the ladies that goes to Rachel and Bella's retreat, Stephanie, her name is, you probably know her if you've been following Rachel and Bella because she's on the design team as well, and her dog just had 9 puppies, so I don't know how, and mind you she's probably 15 years younger than me, so I don't know how she managed to cope with 9 puppies. Years ago I had golden retrievers and one had 12 puppies and the other one had 9, but yeah, I was a lot younger then, and you know, I didn't have knee problems and back problems. So the 3 that we had, we loved them to bits, but it was nice when we got good homes for them, and we kept Jasper, and yeah, I don't really want to go down that avenue again. So this is going to be what the journal will look like with the cover, and I'm thinking possibly using that at the back and using that as the front, because that's going to be covered up anyway with something, and then that looks quite pretty if it was left plain. So that's it for now, everybody, and I'll say bye for now, and join me in a little while when this is dried, and I'll come back tomorrow and we'll decorate the other side. So I'll say bye for now. Bye. Right, everybody, I'm back. So what I've done is I've covered the boards of the 3, you know, the front, back and the spine, and managed to get to use all the piece of material that I've had, and I've just rounded the corners a little bit. So that's going to be the front of the journal, that's the spine, and I'm putting it that way around actually, with the blue, more of the blue bit at the bottom, and then that will be the back of the journal. So how to fix them. Now this is going to be a bit of an experiment for me, because normally, as I say, I would have one great big, you know, piece of material that would fit the whole lot. So I've had to sort of devise a method of joining these pieces together. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit so I can use my tool, and then that is going to give me a guide as to, let me just put them flat on the board actually, rather than have them on there. There we go, that's better. So let's have a look. Oopsie daisy. And that will give us a nice equal space there. And then what I thought I'd do was use a piece of ribbon to come down the inside, and I'm going to glue that on initially, and the same with this side here. And then on the other side I'll put some, my plan is to put some lace around the outside. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will work. And once I've actually got my paper on, I'm going to get my sewing machine out and I will actually sew down these to give them some added strength. So what I'm going to do now is just put this, and it's quite a thick ribbon this, so it should hold the pages, or should I say it should hold the covers together. And I know what I haven't done, which I'm going to have to be careful with now with this glue, is I was just going to use my lighter just to prevent fraying of the edges. So excuse me 1 minute. There we go. There we go. It has actually melted the edges. So pop that up there and that down there, making sure that and then where's my bone folder? Just make sure that it's together well. So that's that one done, and then we'll pop that there and do the same here. Making sure they're together. Lovely. And I'll cut another piece. But before I do that, just make sure it's straight. There we go. So I'm just going to cut the bottom off here. And then same again. So I'm coming to the end of this journal now, and I have enjoyed making it immensely and watching all the collaborators making things to go in their journals. So we'll just push that together so we know so there we go. Squish it down, and then I can move that out of the way now. And we'll have a look. So there we go. You've got an evenly spaced board there. And then what will happen on this side is I plan on popping some of this on. And I can find the opening. Gosh. There we are. So we'll have that on there. Or I might even, I have got a piece of lace that might cover the whole of that and come down either side. So we'll see, we'll see. Just going to let that dry now, and then what we'll do then is got glue on my table, is we'll have room for both of our signatures. This is going to be covered with some papers from the kit, and then that will be there, and that will be there, and plenty of room. So there's plenty of room there for more ephemera to go in for the person that's going to be buying this journal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some boards to cover these two signatures, to separate the two signatures, and it'll just protect them a little bit more. I might use some vellum, so I like using vellum, and I'll just let that dry a little bit more. Right everybody, the cover is almost finished. What I've done is I've put double thickness ribbon down these two seams to give it some added strength, and now I'm going to stick in the inner covers. So this was a piece I'd got left over, so I'm just debating whether to put the roses at the top there. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then what I've done is I've got this page for the front, on this page for the back. So it's going to look something like that. And then it's ready to sew my signatures in. Or should I have it like so? That at the front and that at the back. Let's have a look, because my pages will be something like this. I haven't decided whether that would be the front and that's the back one, like so. So let's have a look, because we can swap them around because they're both the same size. I do love these images. So that'll be there with that in the front. Or shall I have her in the front? Let's have a look. I'm just wondering if there's one I can swap it with, because there's so many beautiful images. No, I think I'll leave it as is and have it that way. And let's go back to the wardrobe at the front. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'll go wardrobe at the front. You're spoilt for choice, you see, aren't you? Anyway, we'll glue this centrepiece in and then I'll make my decision. Decisions. So, I've opened a new bottle of Fabitac, but I've used half of it already. Well, it's 3 in 1 actually, 3 in 1 beacon. Beacon 3 in 1. Put plenty on, especially down the edges. Because we don't want anything curling upwards. There we go. That should be plenty. And we said that was going to go at the top. So try and get it equal. There we go. Smooth it down. I'll get my boom folder. Just to get as securely fastened down as we can. There we are. And then with my bone folder, I'm just I'm not going to press too hard, because we don't want to break the paper. There we go. So I'll just gently go in the creases, same again there. That's lovely. And then, no, I'm going to go wardrobe at the back. Wardrobe at the back and that at the front. It's a case of eeny, meeny, miny, mo when you like all the papers. I don't really mind either or, because it's such a beautiful kit. So I don't know if Rachel, well, I should imagine she'll be working on a new kit to bring out for July. So that's going to be exciting to see what she's going to come up with. There we go. She did put a questionnaire out with some ideas for the new kit. So there we go. Look how beautiful that looks. So there we go. Smooth it down. Getting all the nooks and crannies. Oops. Squidging out a little bit there. And then we'll do the same with this one. I'll just clean my nozzle a minute. So I'll be quite sad when this one comes to the end, because I've enjoyed working with this kit. This is right up my alley, really. Sort of French shabby chic and dressmaking theme, you know, embroidery and fabrics and that sort of thing. Love anything like that. I'm trying to get back into my slow stitching as well. There we go. Oh no, and I was pleased to report as well that I haven't actually torn my cruciate ligament, which I was beginning to think I may have done something to it. Apparently I've got moderate arthritis in my knee, and that's what's giving me all this pain. So I'm going to have a course of physio and see whether that helps resolve it a little bit. Oops. Protect that corner a bit. So that is our cover. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll leave it to dry overnight, and then I'm going to sew in the signatures, and then all we've got left to do then is to put something on the front cover and finish the spine off because I like to hide my threads on the spine. So I hope you'll join me for the final section of this video, and this is the third section, so it'll be in 4 parts, but I will marry it all together with a bit of editing, and then you'll get a flip through on a separate video at the end, because I still want to put a couple more extra bits of ephemera in. So until then, everybody, I'll say good night, and I'll join you again in the morning. Bye for now. Hi everybody, just a quick update of where I've got to now. As you know, the journal is covered, and what I've done now is I've put some of this beautiful lace over the corner, and because it wasn't wide enough to go right the way round, I've done 2 pieces, and I've just left it wavy in the middle because I thought that looked quite attractive, but it just finishes the corners off nicely. I've stitched both of the signatures in, as you can see here, and there is a large space in the middle, because what I wanted to do was sew something in the middle, but I don't want to sew anything in the middle now because I've, you know, obviously put the lace on, so I don't want threads to be showing here. So what I've actually made is I'm going to put a gusseted envelope in the middle, which is what I've made here, and in it I've put letter from the bookmaker, which you can access on the internet. I include that in all my journals, and I've also put in some of these lace keepers or thread keepers, and I'll put some more bits and bobs in as well. I'm also going to put in this, I was thinking of putting this on my front cover, and what it is, it's made from an envelope, and what I did, I folded it not quite in half and just cut, or should I say tore down the 2 halves and made them into like a side pocket, and I've lined it with the scissor paper, which I've reduced in size, and I've put in some of the journaling cards from the kit. I put a little flap in here with some little tags and ephemera behind one of the ephemera pieces here. There's journal space to write. There's also a couple of cards in this pocket here. There's a little card there. There's a little tag, and then here I've done a journaling card, and you can put things in, which I'd done, and I'd slid it into there. And then here you've just got a little like tea towel thing, and I've done some thread on there with some tulle and one of the words from the kit, and we've got some ephemera there. I've done a little cluster in that corner, and then on the back there's another tuck spot, and in it I've got another tag from the kit and a piece of Rachel's ephemera. I'm not sure whether it's from this kit or whether it's from one of Rachel's other, well, it's definitely from one of Rachel's kits, but I'm not sure whether it's actually this kit. So that's going to go in the middle, and what I've done is I've scored along the top of the lid so that you know, it doesn't get squashed, and as you can see, it's a gusseted pocket, so a lot more is going to go in there, but I want it to sit in the middle there without sewing. So I've come up with a little plan, and what I've done is I've cut myself 6 circles out of the same paper as that, and I'm going to adhere it I'll just move this journal to one side for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the circles, make sure it's the right way up, to the back here. And maybe I should have done 4. Just trying to think whether 2 would be enough. And then what I'm going to do is stick them down there like that. So we'll do that now. Oh, I have actually got 8 circles, and I might do all 8 because of it being 8 rows. Well, 4 rows on each side. There we go. So we shall do this on both sides, and by having 4 it'll anchor it well and give it some added strength. So now I'm going to just glue those onto there, making sure that the edge is in line. Like so. And just make sure that it's in line with the fold on the bottom. There we go. Last one. And then we'll fold it over and do the other side. Like so. Oops. And try and get them so that the circles match as well. Oops, a daisy. Oops. There we go. And I've got one missing. Where's the other one gone? One second. I thought I was going doolally then. Just get this glue off my desk. There we go. So then we've got these little hinges like so. And I'm going to take everything out of there, get my journal again, open it right up into the middle. And I'm hoping that these will fit nicely in the middle there. Trying to get it evenly spaced. But before I do that, to stop this flap on this envelope getting in the way, I'm going to just pop a Velcro fastener. Hi everybody, just a quick update of where I've got to now. As you know, the journal is covered, and what I've done now is I've put some of this beautiful lace over the corner. Because it wasn't wide enough to go right the way round, I've done 2 pieces, and I've just left it wavy in the middle because I thought that looked quite attractive, but it just finishes the corners off nicely. I've stitched both of the signatures in, as you can see here, and there is a large space in the middle because what I wanted to do was sew something in the middle, but I don't want to sew anything in the middle now because I've, you know, obviously put the lace on, so I don't want threads to be showing here. So what I've actually made is I'm going to put a gusseted envelope in the middle, which is what I've made here, and in it I've put letter from the bookmaker, which you can access on the internet. I include that in all my journals, and I've also put in some of these lace keepers or thread keepers, and I'll put some more bits and bobs in as well. I'm also going to put in this, I was thinking of putting this on my front cover, and what it is, it's made from an envelope, and what I did, I folded it not quite in half and just cut, or should I say tore down the 2 halves and made them into like a side pocket, and I've lined it with the scissor paper, which I've reduced in size, and I've put in some of the journaling cards from the kit. I put a little flap in here with some little tags and ephemera behind one of the ephemera pieces here. There's journal space to write. There's also a couple of cards in this pocket here. There's a little card there. There's a little tag, and then here I've done a journaling card, and you can put things in, which I'd done, and I slid it into there. And then here you've just got a little like tea towel thing, and I've done some thread on there with some tulle and one of the words from the kit, and we've got some ephemera there. I've done a little cluster in that corner, and then on the back there's another tuck spot, and in it I've got another tag from the kit and a piece of Rachel's ephemera. I'm not sure whether it's from this kit or whether it's from one of Rachel's other, well, it's definitely from one of Rachel's kits, but I'm not sure whether it's actually this kit. So that's going to go in the middle, and what I've done is I've scored along the top of the lid so that you know, it doesn't get squashed, and as you can see, it's a gusseted pocket, so a lot more is going to go in there, but I want it to sit in the middle there without sewing. So I've come up with a little plan, and what I've done is I've cut myself 6 circles out of the same paper as that, and I'm going to adhere it. I'll just move this journal to one side for a second, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the circles, make sure it's the right way up, to the back here, and maybe I should have done 4. Just trying to think whether 2 would be enough. And then what I'm going to do is stick them down there like that. So we'll do that now. Oh, I have actually got 8 circles, and I might do all 8 because of it being 8 rows. Well, 4 rows on each side. There we go. So we shall do this on both sides, and by having 4 it'll anchor it well and give it some added strength. So now I'm going to just glue those onto there, making sure that the edge is in line. Like so. And just make sure that it's in line with the fold on the bottom. There we go. Last one. And then we'll fold it over and do the other side, like so. Oops. And try and get them so that the circles match as well. Oops, a daisy. Oops. There we go. And I've got one missing. Where's the other one gone? 1 second. I thought I was going doolally then. Just get this glue off my desk. There we go. So then we've got these little hinges like so. And I'm going to take everything out of there, get my journal again, open it right up into the middle. And I'm hoping that these will fit nicely in the middle there. Trying to get it evenly spaced. But before I do that, to stop this flap on this envelope getting in the way, I'm going to just pop a Velcro fastener. Right everybody, I've put the little Velcro button underneath here, and while I was off camera I've put on some lace and one of the ephemera pieces, and it's now full of goodies. So I've put ribbon on these, well, on some of them, on 3 of them, some pink, blue and green that go with the colours in the journal, and then there's 2 spare for the person to put their own ribbons on. There's a bookmark in there as well. There's a letter to the bookmaker, and loads of ephemera in this little folder here, plus extras in the back, I think. But they're all stuffed in here. So you've got little doilies, you've got the little tool bag thing there. There's postcards in here. I've shown you this already. You've got little tags in there, and tags in there, and tags in the back. So there's lots in this little pocket. So I'm quite happy with how this has turned out, and it has saved me stitching the envelope in and spoiling the look. And then I found this in one of my drawers. I found this quite vintage. I've had this quite a few years and never used it. A little sewing kit. So I'm including that. It's got a couple of buttons, a little gold coloured safety pin and needle and some threads there. So that's going to go in as well. And that's it for this video. I'm going to close now because it's over an hour long and I didn't intend it on being this long. And I've completed the journal now. Everything is done, the cover's done and the decoration on the front. So my next video will be a complete flip through, and I'll show you what I've been busy doing today off camera. I've done lots of material tabs, I've sewn buttons in, added lace trims, etc, etc, and I put in lots of extra pockets and tags and things. So yeah, I'll hope that you'll join me for the final video in this collaboration video. Well, it's in inverted commas a collaboration, but it is my design team project for June, and it has taken me the whole month of June to do it because it is a bumper journal, and I'll be popping it into my coffee shop later on after the video goes out. So I do hope that you'll join me, and until then, please stay safe and be kind to each other, and have a good evening. Bye now. Bye.